persistent volume claims. That means when I want to attach a storage to the container, I'll be using the PVC. Okay. So in a normal scenario in the Docker world, what we did, we have created a local volume that has created a folder in the var lib docker volumes directory, and that directory is getting attached to the container. That may not work well in the cluster scenario. Let's say I have a container running on one of the node, let's say node 1, and due to a deployment or some case the node 1 went down. Okay, then the application or the container is moved to node 2. If I have created the volume on the local and mounted it onto the container, the directory will not be available on the other node. Okay, so I will not be able to retain the application data on the other node. Okay, in that case, what we will do, we will have a centralized storage providers. Like for example, Amazon has Elastic Block Storage, Azure has a file block storage, and Google has Google Persistent Drive. And like that in VMware, we have VMware Disk. Or if it is a private cloud, we have something like called as a Cinder. Cinder is the volume manager for OpenStack. So like that, adding to that, there are other file systems like letter file system, network file system, okay, or fiber optics channel. So there are lots of storage providers available. So the concept here is Kubernetes will be configured to connect to the storage providers. From there, it will provision a drive, okay, and that drive will be attached to the container. So that is where the storage classes comes into picture. So let me show you the list of storage classes supported by Kubernetes. If you see the storage class list, these are all the list of storage classes supported by Kubernetes. Okay, so basically Amazon Elastic Block Store, Azure File, Azure Disk, CephFS or Cinder, Fiber Channel, Flux Volume, Flocker or Google Persistent Disk, LetterFS, iSCSI, Quabyte, NFS, RBD, vSphere Volume or Portworx or Scale, Storage OS or Local. So these are all the storage volumes that can be provided. For example, if this is the code to install the storage class for the Amazon AWS. Okay, so only thing is my master should have access to the Amazon EBS, and then if I run this code, and this will be done. And in our cloud-based cluster, we already have the storage class installed. So if you see that there will be a GP2 storage class, and this will be communicating with the Amazon AWS EBS is the provisioner. Okay. So whenever I want Kubernetes wants to attach a volume, it is going to communicate to the storage provider via the storage class, and then it is going to create a persistent volume, and that persistent volume will be created as a persistent volume claim, and it will be attached to the container. So using the storage class, a PV will be created, and the PV will be attached to the container using PVC. That's called persistent volume claim. So these are all the options of storage class and persistent volume claim.